With that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Right.
Everybody now has an opportunity to pull up their chair and have a...
For months, Sheryl Swoopes criticized Caitlin Clark, accusing her of being older than she claimed, shooting too much, and achieving college milestones unfairly.
Okay, a couple hours away from Iowa, South Carolina, Caitlin Clark, Gabby Marshall, Hannah Stokey company taking on the undefeated South Carolina team. Going to be a huge game, great game, probably the most watched college basketball game women's of all time. The amount of hatred that Caitlin Clark is getting, not from like average people, average fans like myself who got captivated by her and the way she played and for 2 years have followed her journey and who has elevated women's hoop to a level nobody could ever imagine this quickly. I'm instead talking about former players, talking heads, race baiters. Jameel Hill, race baiter, says the only reason she's getting this coverage, she's white. Every UConn basketball player, Diana Taurasi.
You can make an argument for Paige.
I'm taking Paige. Next question.
So if you had the number one pick this year, you would take Paige over Caitlin?
Absolutely.
Brianna Brianna Miller,
But when WNBA legend Sheryl Miller spoke out on the All the Smoke podcast, she didn't just prove Swoopes wrong, she completely changed the conversation. Miller's passionate defense of Clark exposed the hypocrisy in women's basketball.
Some of your peers, they will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Right.
How can you separate the two? It's kind of hard, right?
I used Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummy.
Miller's strong words highlighted a truth. Clark's rapid rise is benefiting women's basketball, even those who doubted her. What's more, even those critical of Clark are benefiting from her popularity. This isn't just about numbers anymore.
the one who's won all the titles.
Does Caitlin Clark need a championship to be considered one of the greats in women's college basketball history?
Yeah, she does. I think so.
Gina Ariema. Nobody wants to give this girl her flowers, Caitlin Clark. Listen, are you people stupid? Jason Williams saying you can't be an all-time great till you win a title, even though she's on a team that isn't as talented as 90% of her competition.
I am unwilling, and maybe it's more the Kobe mentorship around me, to say that she is great yet.
How stupid.
It's a cultural shift. Legends like Nancy Lieberman and Miller herself have praised Clark's impact, saying she's creating new opportunities for women in sports. Yet Swoopes persisted, claiming Clark's college success was inflated by playing too many games and taking too many shots. But the reality is, Clark only averaged 22.7 shots per game, just 3 more than Swoopes did in her senior season.
3-time Player of the Year, 2-time National Championship, 2-time Tournament MVP, first woman to dunk in an organized game, gold medalist. Thank you for making time. Welcome to the show, Sheryl Miller.
The contradictions continued. Swoopes wrongly said Clark, a supposed 25-year-old senior, was bullying younger players, despite Clark graduating at 22. When fact-checked, Swoopes changed her argument to COVID rules, saying Clark's records shouldn't count because of extra eligibility. Wrong again. Clark broke Kelsey Plum's record in just 4 seasons, without using any pandemic waivers.
Let's also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them. But you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old.
Undeterred, Swoopes predicted Clark would fail in the WNBA. Instead, Clark averaged 19.2 points and led the league with 8.4 assists per game, proving her critics wrong. Miller's defense raises a bigger question. Why do some legends try to block greatness instead of celebrating it? As Clark continues to break barriers, the irony is clear. Her success helps everyone, even those who doubted her. After her unfounded predictions about Clark's professional career failed, Swoopes quickly quieted down. Her credibility took another hit during a podcast with Angel Reese, where she alternated between subtle insults towards Clark and claims of fairness, a performance that smelled of hypocrisy.
Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, She probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
The tipping point came when Swoopes was removed from covering a Fever game due to her relentless criticism of Clark. Nancy Lieberman stepped in and didn't hold back, correcting Swoopes' misinformation like a veteran player. It's okay to disagree on teams, but get your facts right, Lieberman insisted, showing that opinions shouldn't outweigh the truth.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
Here comes Sheryl Miller stepping into the spotlight. Fresh from coaching Caitlin Clark at the 2024 All-Star Game, Miller arrived on the All the Smoke podcast armed with facts. This wasn't just a defense, it was a full court press of truth. After seeing Clark's determination firsthand, Miller shut down every false narrative with the authority of someone whose face challenges herself. "I know what hate looks like," she said, comparing Clark's criticism to the struggles she faced as a black woman in sports. This kid, she's lifting the whole league while they try to tear her down.
Didn't say she wouldn't be good. What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Respectfully, there is absolutely no way, even when we're trying to sit here and play semantics about dominating, there's no way that anyone could ever leave this season in saying that both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't dominate. You would have to further explain what dominance means for you to not sit here and say that a player who is leading the league in assists while averaging 19 to 20 points didn't dominate.
Miller's biggest point? The undeniable reality that Clark's rise is making money for everyone, even the ones attacking her. The media loves a story, but the real story? She's changing the game, Miller said, recalling how Clark's strength under pressure during her rookie season won her respect. The moment that sealed it, when Miller reframed what critics call cockiness as the confidence fueling the WNBA's growth. "You want the league to grow? Look at her impact," Miller stated, making it clear there was no debate. In a league where past legends tried to control who got recognition, Clark isn't just breaking records. She's changing how greatness is defined, one silenced critic at a time.
I've known Cheryl since she was in college. I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first ESPYs. I've known Cheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that, there was this quote by Sheryl that said, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior. Right. She was taking 40 shots a game. Her records were illegitimate.
When Indiana secured its first win, Miller captured the moment perfectly. When she saw me, it was like she'd finally found an ally in a battle. Think about that. A generational talent so starved for support that one friendly face felt like a lifeline. Beneath the headlines, Clark's journey has been a lonely fight, dealing with pressures few could understand. Is she criticized? Absolutely, Miller admitted. But while people doubted her, she was working, often harder than anyone knew.
I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend and I said, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter. And if you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. And, you might like Boston. I might like the Yankees. It's okay to have difference of opinions. Well, she got upset with me on the phone. And I was like, Cheryl, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing. We're talking. And so our relationship it pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four. Right. She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be good or great with or without Sheryl Swoopes in my life.
Miller's advice to Clark wasn't just words, it was a shield. As someone who had faced similar struggles, she gave Clark a powerful mantra, be unapologetically you. In a league where fitting in is often expected, those words became Clark's armor. You think her success was handed to her? Miller challenged. If she had failed, the same doubters would have torn her apart, but she didn't, and now everyone's profiting. Shutting down claims that Clark doesn't work hard, Miller laid it out clearly. I've seen her put in the hours, late nights, non-stop reps. Question her effort. That's not analysis, that's nonsense. She also didn't shy away from the hate Clark receives. The criticism, over the top, but her mindset, unshakable. Young stars need that toughness. This game isn't easy.
You know, Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies. Is she getting hyped? Yes. But she was in the backyard. She was putting in the same time, sometimes maybe more than you were.
Right.
I can't fault her for what she was getting.
Miller's final word? Let her fly. The Fever aren't just getting better, they're laying the foundation for a title. To her, Clark isn't just a rising star, she's a game changer rewriting the future. And to the doubters still questioning her, Miller has one message. Get comfortable. The show's just beginning.
No, I mean, look, as much as she was given, you can't tell me if that door would have swung the other way where she didn't live up to the hype.
Right.
Come on, folks are still waiting for her to fall.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yep.
So with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Miller's breakdown goes beyond the usual accolades. While many fixate on Clark's flashy assists, she's zeroed in on something deeper. Clark's unmatched spatial awareness. It's not just court vision, it's the ability to dissect plays in real time, as if she's operating in another dimension. Where others see a flat floor, Clark moves like a grandmaster, threading passes into gaps no one else notices. Her vision rivals the game's greatest playmakers, Miller declared, calling Clark's instincts a strategic weapon that elevates everyone around her.
You recently coached the WNBA All-Star game. You spent some time with Caitlin Clark.
Best coaching job ever.
Best coaching job
Best coaching job ever.
Being around Caitlin Clark, how was the experience with her? She's such a big star. I mean, the sky's the limit for her. To be around her, just talk about the type of person she is and how much she loves the game.
I'm going to be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her. I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a black woman and hated because of my color.
Yeah.
But the real bombshell? Miller crushed the lazy narrative that Clark is a weak defender. She's relentless, way sharper than they give her credit for, she revealed, pulling from firsthand experience at the All-Star game. This wasn't just a defense, it was a Hall of Famer dismantling false narratives with facts.
Can't imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despised. And people just having, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason.
Confident.
And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative. And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't the truth.
As for Indiana, Miller sees more than just a rising team. She sees a dynasty in the making. They're not just getting better, they're building something revolutionary, she said, emphasizing how the team's mix of raw talent and high basketball IQ is setting the foundation for championships. Titles aren't won on talent alone. It's how players think that creates greatness.
Watching her pass, and I didn't know how talented she was and how well she sees the game in a 3D version. Thinker. Defensively, a lot better than I thought and gave her credit for. So watching her and just spending a little time. And one thing, guys, that I've learned is to step back and let these kids be themselves.
Miller's sharpest shot, though, was at the jealousy running through the league. This is a turning point. Stay bitter or embrace the future, she warned, making it clear that Clark's success is driving up salaries for everyone. Hate her all you want, but the reality, her impact is funding your future.
He was getting hit with everything left and right, and I just said, I hugged her. I said, I'm so proud of you. I go, savor this. Use this as a formula. I said, but keep being you. I said, no matter what, keep being you.
In the end, Miller painted the Fever as fearless innovators, a squad built on Clark's vision and unwavering grit. They're the storm no one's prepared for, she smirked. As Clark and Miller bridge generations, the message is undeniable. Women's basketball isn't just growing, it's exploding, and the doubters, they're already being left behind.
It's a crown that she's wearing right now.
Right.
And it wasn't something that she anointed herself. It's something that's been placed on her head. And I hope people understand that. But it's everything that she's dealing.
Caitlin Clark has made remarkable strides in preparation for the 2025 WNBA season following her impressive debut year after capturing the Rookie of the Year honor and guiding the Indiana Fever to playoff contention in 2024. Clark dedicated her offseason to comprehensive improvement. She concentrated particularly on enhancing her long-range shooting accuracy, which stood out as an area with room for development despite her otherwise strong performance last season.
And I gave her the biggest hug that I could. And when she saw me, she's like, "Oh man, finally somebody I see that's on my side."
Right, they can relate.
One thing that I said to her, and she was heading into her senior year, was have fun. No matter all the static, just make sure you find that quiet place.
The physical transformation Clark has undergone is particularly noteworthy. By adding substantial muscle to her frame, she's better equipped to withstand the physical demands of professional competition. This increased strength has already yielded tangible benefits, particularly in her close-range shooting efficiency.
You can set a screen for Kaylin. Kaylin don't need a screen. Kaylin's got great handles. The one thing that I don't think people really appreciate about that young lady's game, she can pass the ball.
She can't pass. She got great assists.
And the bounce pass is,
the bounce pass is powerful,
which is almost non-existent in the game.
Working under the direction of Coach Stephanie White, Clark has embraced an intensive strength training regimen with special attention to developing her lower body stability. The extended break between seasons also afforded Clark valuable time to build rapport with her teammates, including new additions to the Fever roster.
I love what they've done for the women's game from the collegiate level to now, and it's working. And it was only a matter of time. And great narratives, great storylines. But now the bottom line comes down to one thing. It's about basketball, and it's about wins.
These combined improvements, coupled with the experience gained during her inaugural professional season, position Clark to assume an even more pivotal role in the Fever's championship aspirations for 2025.
What advice, if any, did you share in that meeting with Caitlin? Because I know that she spoke very highly of you, got great respect for you.
I've known Cheryl for a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious, and it's fun.
Beyond her athletic achievements, Clark has emerged as a transformative figure for women's basketball. Her influence extends into various domains, most notably the economic realm, where her presence has dramatically boosted attendance figures and viewership ratings.
I've known Cheryl for a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious, and it's fun.
This surge has created unprecedented revenue streams, fundamentally altering the financial landscape of the WNBA. Clark has also become a powerful source of inspiration for young female athletes, with her determination and success challenging long-standing gender barriers in professional sports.
Getting to be around those two people that have done so much for the game, for me is super special. Like, there's still two people that I really look up to and idolize and appreciate everything that they've done, and for them to have this moment too and be a part of it, like, it's just super cool.
Looking ahead to the 2025 season, expectations for Clark's performance remain exceptionally high. Many analysts consider her a leading candidate for the MVP award, though her team-oriented playing style might influence voting patterns that traditionally favor individual scoring statistics.
Holy smokes, what an opportunity. And I was excited, like really, really excited, till I found out that the team I'm coaching wants to beat the brakes off our Olympic team. I'm like, okay, the pressure's on. So now we got a game, folks. we're going to have a game, but it's been fantastic.
The media attention surrounding Clark has reached unprecedented levels, with her matchups against rivals like Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky receiving primetime broadcast slots on major networks. A historic milestone for the WNBA.
And people that came well before today's game, they were skilled. They were incredible. The spotlight is now enhanced, and give these women credit. They have certainly elevated the game, but there are some truly, truly great players that could play today that played yesterday.
And you know what? And I love the way that you said piggyback, because in no way, shape, or form am I not appreciative of where the game is at and the exposure, because we get exposure. Everybody forgot Lynette Woodard until Caitlin Clark broke her scoring record.
Despite her immense contribution to the league's growth and popularity, Clark's compensation remains relatively modest. Her salary for the upcoming season is expected to be approximately $78,000, a figure her representation believes significantly undervalues her economic impact on the sport. This disparity highlights ongoing discussions about fair compensation in women's professional sports. Through her athletic excellence and broader cultural impact, Clark continues to serve as a catalyst for growth and transformation in women's basketball, inspiring future generations while driving economic development throughout the sport.